or work for Shield. It seems like he's going to start a superhero group, or he's going to work with Shield, or do something there that is which is basically establishing, saying at the end of Iron Man was established that fuck you, I don't want to this is not going to be like the sequel, which was The Dark Knight, which is set up a villain, Joker. This didn't set up a villain. This set up a hero who now has kind of shot himself in the foot by publicly putting himself out there to say, I am Iron Man. I invented this suit. Now where are you going to take that? Where does that go as a sequel? We're kind of going, because we're not going to get the conventional superheroism story. We've established that Tony Stark now has publicly put himself out there. So that's interesting. In a way, it's like what we just saw in Watchmen, where we have Ozymandias, who decided to out himself and made billions and made all this money. That's interesting to note that, wow, like where's that going to go? Like, we've got a guy who has decided to kind of whore himself out in a way and take superhero and make it into a property and make money in a way, or kind of let people go along the experience of saying, yeah, I'm a hero now. Okay, and how that's like I'm just as interested as all of you to figure out what's the next part, because there is no kind of comic or anywhere that I go, I've never seen that he outs himself and then now he kind of is kind of a wise ass thinking, I'm going to try it this way, I'm going to go a different way. Where is that going to take us? What villains, if any, who's going to oppose him? Because really, anybody in the world could oppose him. Now they publicly know him. They know where he lives, and he's like a celebrity superhero now. That, like I said, Adrian Veidt, which is, so that's interesting to know. Well, is he going to set up the headquarters, Avengers, which is what we thought? Is he going to work for Shield? We don't know where that's going. We don't know if the world's, if Incredible Hulk exists, maybe mutants exist. So we have, do the mutants exist? You know what I'm saying? Are there mutants in the world? I think so. I think Wolverine is something that is a possibility, that, you might see Tony Stark walking through S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're talking about Logan or Weapon X or something like the, I don't think that the mutant crisis, maybe when the Cure, the things like that, is that something that we might see in the sequel? And it's like, I don't want Iron Man fighting a bunch of mutants or finding mutants, because then it stops being Iron Man. But I'm saying, that seems like what Iron Man and Incredible Hulk tried to do, is to say, that's it, everybody's linked, anybody from any, it's not impossible. Yeah, Captain America, might walk on, and be, in a room with Tony Stark. It's not impossible now that they're trying to have a crossover. And like I said, for what I'm seeing, I just feel like the sequel that I'm reading about and hearing about is just not mesh. It just seems like they're trying to kind of undo and kind of go, no, fuck that. It's like what they do on Heroes, which was terrible, where it's like, the virus, it destroyed the city, or New York was supposed to explode, and then they went, no, that's too big, I don't want to explore that, fuck that. No, he didn't say that. You thought he said that. He was drunk. The Avengers, maybe a couple, like, it's like it's not doing what it promised, which is to say, we're going to, we have a clear place, we know where we're going to go, no, fuck the last two moments. He probably farted during the conference and it ended, and now he's Iron Man fighting villains and shit. It's so not in tone. So I just felt like, as a fan, I wasn't a huge fan of the Iron Man thing, but I was a huge fan of Mickey Rourke and him being Venom, that I'm totally disappointed by today's casting decision of him playing an Iron Man villain, totally against this casting. So, but who knows? Maybe with some really good prosthetics, that you might not even know it is Mickey Rourke. It is possible. With possibly prosthetics or a really good accent, that we might not even recognize him as Mickey Rourke, or maybe they might do some kind of V for Vendetta Crimson Dynamo where you don't ever see him outside of his mask and it's more voice. I don't know, but like I said, I was promised Avengers, and now I'm kind of scared for Iron Man 2, because I kind of feel like this is going to be like, whoa, that was not the sequel that people were expecting, like, because we don't really know what to expect with Iron Man anyway, but like, this was not, what the hell was this? This seems like a kind of arbitrary, it just seems like an arbitrarily, like, we have to kind of make an Iron Man sequel that I hope they take the time and not kind of rush it and just get in there when they've got, some actual story to tell, whether it's about the Ten Rings or whatever, Avengers, whatever the hell. It would be interesting to see something, along the lines of just a natural progression, because this feels like one of those sequels that's just like couldn't. I don't want to see Iron Man versus evil Iron Man in a way. Like, Obadiah Stane, I don't want to see Iron Man versus the giant robot army. It just seems like, I guess the perfect way to explain it is like, when you got Terminator, and it was just simply introduced as a kind of small, low-budget effects, really wasn't supposed to really be anything, and you get this Terminator, and he comes back in time to kill Sarah Connor, and then you realize, well, okay, Terminator 2, one of the best sequels ever, you had a T-1000, he was different. He wasn't the exact version of Terminator. He was an upgraded, different version using liquid metal as opposed to just metal, and he was dangerous and he was different, and you had different characters. Like Terminator 2 is so good, you can just watch Terminator 2. You don't have to see Terminator 1 ever, and just with Terminator 2, you're pretty much, you get kind of Terminator 1 again. It's a really great sequel. It just makes sense. And with this, I'm really kind of feeling that kind of Superman syndrome, Superman 3, Superman 4 syndrome, where it's like there really isn't, Spy, Black Widow, like who the like when you think about like Black Widow, like why isn't it Silver Sable, or why does it have to be some, like, what is the story behind, what does she steal, does she steal the suit, does she, I don't, it's possible, but I don't like it. Don't like where this is going. I don't like this. No. Sorry.